Hey, horror fans, once again, it is me, the Horror Mizamani G. It's time to recap last night's episode of Chucky Season 2, Episode 7. Yes, it's almost over. No, it's the penultimate episode for the Season 2 finale, and lots of wild and crazy things happen in this one. Yes, this is what the penultimate episode means. This is the episode before the end of the series or the end of the season. Lots of times shows like to set things up to get people excited about what's going to happen in the series or season finale of a show. Now, for this one, while we do get callbacks from The Silence of the Lambs and a full-on carbon copy of The Exorcist, it does set up everything nicely for the final episode of season 2. Now, while we see Father Bryce taking confessions for everyone, including his own, all the players are at the school. And well, most of them anyway. No, we have Jake, Devin, Father Bryce, Sister Catherine, Andy, and Dr. Mixter with the good Chucky all trying to figure out their next moves. Yeah, see, basically, Dr. Mixer still has a gun pointing at Devin, Kyle, and Sister Catherine and Father Bryce. While I think Jake still has the good Chucky in hand, they're all trying to figure out what their next moves are going to be. Then Kyle shows up along with Glenn and Nika, and they all have a proposition. They will get Father Bryce to perform an exorcism to get rid of good Chucky, while Nika will perform the voodoo spell to put Chucky Prime back in the good guy doll. Yes. Yes. For some reason, Dr. Mixer calls the Chucky that's in the Nika Chucky body Chucky Prime, like he is the actual Charles Lee Ray persona. Meanwhile, poor Lexi is freaking out over the death of Nadine, so she overdoses on clonazepam, which causes her to hallucinate Nadine's ghost. And Nadine comes up almost like a full angel in this episode. Now they all have an in-depth conversation where Nadine tells her that she's the bravest friend she's ever known and that she should trust Jake and Devin and not give up. And it's finally, hopefully, that we'll get to see Lexi not take drugs anymore. And I was very pleased with that tidbit in the episode right there. Now, despite being excommunicated by the church, Father Bryce said he'll still perform the exorcism, telling Sister Catherine it's time to go rogue. We see Devin Swaba, and I'm pretty sure in a nice scene that I'm pretty sure my good friend Jen will enjoy, they get ready to perform the exorcism. Now, before that happens, good Chucky, whose conditioning has seemed to have worn off, tries his best to get the group fight up against each other, trying to pit them one against another, causing Andy to lock him up in the cabinet and put a muzzle on him, Hannibal Lecter style. Oh boy, here we go. Now, this is where we get a Silence of the Lambs vibes when Chucky talks to Glenn, trying to convince her that she's just a killer like him, like father, like daughter. He even tells her where he hid his Boeing knife in the school so she can get that and kill people. Now, the exorcism plays like almost a semi-parody of the Exorcist movie, with Chucky throwing up pea soup and the group chanting "The power of Christ compels you." Kind of a campy sort of way, but when you have Brad Dourif voicing Chucky, you can't help but laugh at it. I mean, towards the end of the exorcism, Chucky levitates a la Reagan from The Exorcist. He raises up into the air, everyone's chanting. He eventually floats back down. And it looks like the exorcism worked because the doll is not moving and we don't see anything from the doll. But unfortunately, it seems like Chucky is now possessed Father Bryce, again, a la The Exorcist. Now, perhaps the funniest thing that does happen is that good Chucky does possess, when he does possess Father Bryce, he fights back, causing his body to explode in horrific fashion. I mean, this really explodes, almost like the Scanner's head in Scanners. And the way they edited it, it seemed like they took like one shot and then spliced it together almost 3 or 4 times, showing the audience the explosion up to the point where I got tired of seeing it. Once or twice is good, but they almost did it like 4 or 5 times. It's like, okay, we get it. It's a nice, great special effects, but come on, enough's enough. 1 to 2 times is enough. We don't need to see the same explosion 5 or 6 times. So Nika finally does the voodoo ritual calling upon Damballa and is finally able to transfer Chucky Bryan into the now empty good guy doll. However, before Dr. Mixer can escape with Chucky Prime, Andy holds her at gunpoint and Dick tries to drown the remaining final Chucky in holy water. Seemed like this was planned all along, was that they were going to double cross Dr. Mixer, take the Chucky and drown him, being that this is it. There's no more Chuckies around, and they were going to drown him, finally putting an end to Charles Lee Ray. Then an all but forgotten Sister Ruth appears, holding Lexi at it with a gun to her head, threatening to kill her if they don't release her lord. You see, earlier before when Lexi was finally over her hallucination with Nadine, Sister Ruth entered her room and got the pills, and they held her at gunpoint. So we finally get to see Sister Ruth appeared, which I don't think we actually saw her in the last episode, but she finally makes her appearance here. So Jake gives the Chucky Prime to Dr. Mixer, and when Dr. Mixer leaves Chucky, just as Sister Ruth is going to kill Lexi anyway, she's killed by Glenn, who found Chucky's Bohem knife and kills her right in the eye. Another great special effect. So we got some great practical effects in this one. She actually pulls the knife out of her eye and eventually falls dead, which I find fascinating that she was able to do that and not have the gun go off automatically and kill Lexi. But, what are we going to do? So when Lexi reunites with Devin and Jake, Andy goes after her and shoots Dr. Mexer, hitting Chucky Prime, and eventually kills the Chucky doll when Dr. Mexer escapes and drives away. But he eventually shoots Chucky Prime dead, and they believe this is it. Charles Lee Ray is dead. No more Chucky. Or so we think. Now, of course, while all this is happening, we still have to deal with Jennifer Tiffany, along with Glenda, the Tiffany doll with the actual real Jennifer Tiffany inside of it, and of course the Glenda doll. We find out that Jennifer Tiffany and Glenda, they're still on the run, while news reports are saying that police are looking for Jennifer Tilly for possible murder charges. They now believe that Jennifer Tilly is a murderer. Now, this makes Jennifer Tiffany freak out, saying that now she's making a deal with the actual real Jennifer Tiffany, that they're going to swap bodies back, where Tiffany will go back into the Tiffany doll and Jennifer will go back into her real body because, hey, look, I'm wanted for murder. I can't be in this body anymore. I'm going to go back into the Tiffany doll. You're going to go back into your real body, and then you deal with all the crimes that I committed in your body. Unfortunately, the real Jennifer Tilly breaks out of her bonds and runs into the highway, only to be run over by a tractor trailer, and the Tiffany doll is destroyed, causing Jennifer Tiffany to freak out even more. I mean, talk about an explosion. She runs into the street. I mean, you can guess what's going to happen when she's busy running. Next thing you know, bam, the whole doll explodes. Obviously, Jennifer Tiffany is dead. And poor Jennifer Tiffany is now stuck in Jennifer Tilly's real body. Oh boy. Talk about someone. I would freak out too. Now, of course, Jennifer Tiffany, along with Glenn, arrive at the school where Glenn and Glenda are reunited, but Nikki intends on killing Jennifer Tiffany for all the abuse she put her through. I mean, dating back all the way through Seed of Chucky, to the first season of Chucky, and now here we are right now. She's had enough of Tiffany. She's going to kill her. However, Glenn jumps into the path of the bullet and is shot. Then she is shot trying to save her mother, and that's where Jennifer, Tiffany, and Glenda put Glenn in the car to see if they can get her help. It's possibly that they could be put back into the Glenda doll. Yeah, so a lot of things happen in this pre-ultimate episode. First of all, it was very nice seeing Nadine return and hopefully puts Lexi on the right path where she's no longer dependent on pills. Hopefully that Nadine will finally become a more nicer person, or be the badass Lexi that we know and love, but still friends with Devin and Jake. It would also seem that Devin and Jake are back together again, but we'll have to see what happens in the final episode next week, because I'm pretty sure that whatever conclusion is going to happen in the second season, I don't know if they're going to continue on with these characters or not. No, there's no mentioning made, but I don't know much more you can do with these three characters, especially with Lexi, Devin, and Jake. I would hope that they would have a final conclusion with this storyline and then bring in some new characters. It's something I'll talk about probably at the end of season 2. Now, there's still the question of what was Dr. Mixer referring to when she was talking about knowing the source and then laughing manically like Chucky when she was driving away. What's going on with Dr. Mixer? What's her connection with Charles Lee Ray, other than the fact that we know that she was counseling him when he was a kid, but even then she knew that the guy was a sociopath or a psychopath. But obviously, there's something else going on with Dr. Mixer. I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that particular character in next season's finale. So, what is the fate of Glenn, Glenda, and Jennifer Tiffany? As I'm sure we have not seen the last of Chucky as we prepare for the season finale of season 2 of Chucky. Yes, lots of questions are going to be asked because I say it again, I'm pretty sure this is not the end we've seen of Chucky, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with Dr. Mixter and that oh boy, that crazy laugh that she had when she was driving away. So that is my video for today, guys. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share. This because it really helps out with that YouTube algorithm. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put a new video such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember that horror rules. I see you in my next video. I'm out.